Great awakening, grand rising, everyone out there. I hope all is well. I feel like I am a person who leans towards feminism. I understand that the best way through this is honoring wholeness, honoring the divine masculine and the divine feminine simultaneously within ourselves. And so I'm in this place of not only honoring physically intersex people, but mentally, spiritually, and emotionally intersexed beings, which I think those beings were initially. So I think that the divine is intersexed in every way. And so I feel like the Black woman is God narrative replaces oneness, wholeness, with a construct that exalts or deifies one aspect, an important aspect, but nonetheless an aspect of wholeness and oneness, and being not the blueprint, but the purple print, because when I think of blue, I think of one side of a coin, where we, in politics, we have red and blue. A lot of times red can be associated with darkness or evil, and, they made that the devil, and then blue is associated with the sky, so it's associated with God. Then sometimes the blue is associated with the water, which is Yemaya. But then sometimes blue is masculine, So sometimes red is associated with femininity. Sometimes blue is associated with femininity. And then sometimes red is associated with masculinity, and sometimes blue is associated with masculinity. But it just goes to show you that we are one. Sometimes the sun is depicted as masculine. Sometimes it's depicted as feminine. Again, all of these bring home we are one. Sometimes the moon is associated with feminine energy, and then there's a story that says the man in the moon, the man that lives in the moon. And so, all of these things that we traditionally associate with feminine or masculine, there are stories where they are told as the opposite of, how we've been taught to see them. And so people are just whole. That's a space we all have to get to on our own. We weren't all born at the same time. We're not all going to die at the same time. We're all not going to arrive in a place of consciousness to understand that at the same time. That is why this work continues. We don't have to make ourselves foreign, alien, or in complete opposition to one another in order to validate, honor, and celebrate our body's unique and different needs, and protect the different needs and uses of our vessels. Moving forward, I will continue to hold space for those of us who are focusing more on acknowledging ourselves as intergendered, as intersexed, as having intertwined identities, as having multifaceted identities, and developing that language and making a safe space for us to cultivate and nurture beings who are arriving at that space. I want to take this time to give thanks to all of the beings, all of the souls, all of the energies that have supported me in arriving at this space to be of support to my loved one here in Bogalusa. I want to thank my daughter Bonnie, who is making sure that the space in New York is cared for. I want to thank my daughter Pernisha for just being counsel to me on the phone. I want to thank my biological family, my sister Shell, my cousin Kitty. I want to thank my cousin Brigette for, even trusting me to be here for my cousin, and all of her children for making space for me and being thoughtful and kind and respectful towards me. I want to thank my father in Bogalusa, who has made arrangements for me to be able to move around safely. I'm just very thankful for all of the support that I have been receiving from community. The Deep Spacecraft, who has hosted me, who has given me resources to travel, my fiscal agent who looked out for me on my birthday, my brother Michael, David Battle, another one of my trans brothers, Red Tramiel, who also has sewn into me. Just so thankful to have so many people around me. And, with everyone who has supported me, I'm truly grateful. I would be remiss if I did not, give a special thanks to my moderators who have been holding the space, and we've been supporting each other. And I just can't wait till I receive funding to support them for all the valuable work that they have been doing, of their giving their own time, their energy, and sharing and being supportive, and for all the times that they were fighting for me in the comment section and protecting me, and now sharing this sacred space on the Zoom chat. I am so grateful for the support that I receive from them. And I also thank again Aurora Monroe, who has just been extremely supportive, helping us to have the Zoom space for our sacred conversations and our sacred talks. That has meant so much to me. Also, just the things that I've been working through the intuitive counseling sessions that we've been having. I've seen my growth, but there's still a lot coming out of me. And I think when I was coming to Bogalusa to see my loved one in such a way, I made some choices that were connected to me escaping. I think it was also necessary because I purged a lot of things out of me. I had been going through some things internally in my body that had me very scared. They're not happening right now. They've stopped. After I danced in the rain that day, because I danced in the rain a couple of times, honoring the elements, being around the fire, dancing, those things, I just felt so much better. I felt so much better in my body. There are things that are in the works in Louisiana that I'm not going to speak about right now, but I'm really excited about what the future possibly holds for the work that I'm doing and how I will be able to position myself. I've definitely been trying to manifest this, and I feel like something is happening, but I'm not going to speak on that right now. But I will say this. I want to thank everyone who has been supporting this work, and I would appreciate your continued support. I like to mix my little tinctures, my little medicines, and while I've had funding to be able to get this room for a few days, I'm definitely going to have to change my living arrangements, which I don't mind. I'm totally fine because I'm happy to be able to be here and to be able to spend time with my cousin. So, but people who are able to support in helping me procure certain herbs, certain medicines, so that I could create some things that are, healthy, so that I could do my part in loving on my cousin and also loving on myself. There are things that I've been studying and researching, and I want to put them into use, but the funds are limited. As I said when I first came here, I had to see what the tea was. So I did initially get a room for a few days. This is something that I think we're all healing from, is that you just don't go stomping through a area that already belongs to a certain group of people. You don't just come in and sling your weight around and say, hey, da 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 da. You know, that's how colonizers do things. When you're showing respect to the space, no matter what space you're going into, if you're going into the wilderness, if you're going in somewhere in society, if you're going somewhere in community, you do an introduction, you reintroduce yourself, you ease your way in to the space, you know, with permission from everyone who's already in the space. And just because they be younger than you in some circumstances, it may be actual nature. You're supposed to be thoughtful. You're supposed to ask for permission. You're supposed to show that you respect what is already there, what is already in place. And so, because I don't primarily live in Bogalusa, I think that it is about being thoughtful to how you come into the space, and also, you know, protecting my own feelings, you know, because there's a certain amount of respect that I require, a certain amount of respect that I need in order to feel comfortable sharing space. And so it's also about me pacing myself and protecting myself and preserving myself. I've only gotten emotional one time since I've been here, and it's so crazy. I was telling Yahuru this yesterday. I was telling my dad, you know, because he was asking, you know, well, how is she? You know, what's her state? And I was explaining to him, and I started getting emotional, and I had shades on, so you couldn't see the tears forming in my eyes. I realized that the only reason why I was feeling emotional is because gospel music was playing in the background. Not to say that I haven't felt feelings or I'm not feeling things. I just thank the ancestors, and I thank God, Goddess, and I thank the higher power that lives in me, that I want to be here. You know, I want to be with her. All we could do is wait and see what choice her soul makes. You know, what choice her spirit makes. Like, if her soul makes the choice to fully reconnect with that vessel, or if her soul makes a choice to say, I want to transition. But right now, I want to do what I can energetically to help that space, that frequency reveal itself to us, because I think it's important to her as well as the family, because this is very different. This is a very different version of her than any of us have seen. And so if any of you are moved to support me, because I want to prepare some foods and some things that I feel like can contribute to rejuvenation and regeneration. I want to make sure that I get quality things. And so if any of you would be willing to support me in that, I will be very grateful. No one owes me anything. I share from my heart. And at a time I did feel like, yeah, y'all should sow. But that's not where I am right now. I'm just humbly saying, if you have it in your heart to give, if you can afford to give comfortably, please. And I will appreciate it. And thank you so much. Oh yes, also, I will be meeting with the moderators at 2 o'clock on Sunday. And then we will be skipping a week because I will need to focus. But yes, I will be meeting with the moderators on Sunday at 2. Be well and take care until my next video entry. You have a blessed day. Laylim Laylar Nation. Purple ones rise.